4 minutes. That took us 4 minutes. So if you plan on watching this later, we're going to cut that out. Cut that out. It is a small production crew tonight. Man. All right, we'll give her a bye on this one. I'll do her burpees for her. Our other half of the production team is gone right now. They left us alone. They trust us to do this on our own, and you see what happens. So we need our production team back. I don't even know who's on yet because I'm waiting for her to put it up. I'm going to come take that remote from her. Got a great show for you tonight. Damn good show. Roll call. Again, you guys probably all see each other, but I don't still. So welcome, everybody. Welcome, and thanks for joining us. And yes, it goes without saying, thank you for your patience through our technical difficulties. Successfully connected. It's up on the screen. Let's get into this. All right. You're going to have to tell me who's here. Whew. Thank you, Seth, Lindsay. Appreciate that. Big AJ. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Gerb. All right. Good to see y'all. Welcome to SFMF Live. Simplify, my friends. A community that has been growing significantly. Thank you all very much. And just connecting on another level that I think is just the drive in us and the production team. You guys see what the production team does. I just show up and start talking about stuff. You guys create the content. The behind the scenes do absolutely all the work. And it's for the good of the whole, right? Everyone learns from those that are getting ready to go into the service, those that are currently serving, and those that have transitioned out. That's what we have done. And there are some trials and tribulations along the way. And that's what we want to avoid anyone else to have to learn the hard way. No reason to reinvent the wheel. Because families like us have already gone through it and learned the hard way. We don't want anyone else to learn the hard way. So that's what this community is all about. And you guys are amazing. So thank you very much, and God bless you all. I know it's not Sunday, but it feels like it. Praise God. All right. Come back, Madam Producer and the IT support team. I'm telling you, John, there's 2 of us out of the 7. Where's the moderators? Where's Kimmy Cocoa Puffs? USMC Cece says she's here. And Annie Benani is traveling right now with her high school JROTC Army drill team is competing for the national championship. They're awesome. Good luck. Okay, I see Jake. I see Gunny East. Modern Day Marine in D.C. Modern Day Marine today in D.C. What up, Gru? I like Gru. He's funny. Oh, goody, more troll. Get him, Jared. I'm retired but ready to go fight anywhere. I was with you, Mr. Mudpath. USMC here, 0621, the 06. What up, brother? USMCC is here. OD, finally made it back. Good to see you. Jake, your power's out. What's up? You better call somebody. Call the cable guy. Block. Good stuff. Am I going to be able to? Sergeant CC back in the saddle. Jared. All right. So it is a Wednesday, midweek hump day. And it is another awesome day. Busy week. It's the last day of April. Last day of April. Is today the dependent day, right? Is April. The month of the military child is April. And you see the producer put on on the community post. If you don't check those, find those. Sometimes it takes me a minute to find it, but find the community post. There's some cool ones, very cool ones, all designed by the producer. And today is month of the military child, and it's the last day. So that's why she put up the picture of me and the kids. Pretty awesome. They all had one of my uniforms part of it on. Mine is number 5. As you can see how young we all are in that photo. The youngest one now wasn't there yet, but soon. But it is the month of the Military Child Appreciation Month. And it's pretty amazing. I don't know if I talk about my dependents or enough, or the role of a dependent. We do frequently, but I'll tell you right now, not enough. Because of what they do, what they put up with, what they go through, the changes that that are forced upon them. They didn't decide that. They didn't choose the military, right? The producer did, right? She knew what she was getting into. Sucker. But your kids don't most of the time, or all the time. Even if you have kids, then you join. It's still probably not their decision. So typically, though, you get married while you're in and have some kids again, and those kids get forced into this situation that they didn't ask for. And then to do it with motivation and pride and honor and respect you enough, your family enough to not get in trouble on base overseas, where you can get kicked off base, and it can actually ruin your career. The service member can affect it anyway, that's for sure. And then, oh yeah, the fact that they got to move typically every 3 years, right? And K through, maybe in K through 6, K through 8 is not that big of a deal, not as big of a deal as high school. You imagine those, and I'm sure plenty of you have moved during your high school years, but 4 years in a high school, going to one your senior year, junior year, right? Or leaving after your freshman, it just, whatever. It's not a good situation, and dependent kids do it all the time. But it depends on what you take from it, right? My kids, I don't know if they have regrets or if they wish they wouldn't have, because they have been to foreign countries, different states, than your average everyday teenager. So they have friends all over the world, right? And depending on where those friends' parents got stationed, that's just another connection to that country. So there's good in it, making it seem like it was all miserable the whole time. And put it in the comments if you're a dependent. Let us know, because it's tough. Moving schools, your parent, whichever one's active duty, could be missing your first steps, your first words, your proms and graduations and state championship soccer games and all that stuff. You were kind of in second to that, because the military service obviously comes first. So shout out to all of you. God bless all you dependents. Any of you that were ever a dependent. The producer was a dependent and then became a dependent. So a lifetime of it. And it's not easy, but she totally depended on me. And I had to walk her around and carry her and speak for her, drive her around, like driving Miss Daisy. So shout out to them. And this is the month. This is the last day of the month. Semper Fi, my family. All right. So boot camp stuff. You know, it's a common theme that we start with around here. Just did a short on the blue dress uniform. When do Marines get it? When and who gets it? And it has changed over the years. So again, I'm interested in whatever's current, and what happened when you went through boot camp. And my only time going through boot camp as a recruit was, at that time it was summer, so it was hot. All the graduates were wearing Charlies, except for the guides. We were in full blues. The guides at some point throughout recruit training, the drill instructor gets to promote a couple of people, guides, squad leaders. There's a short on that as well. Sometimes, depending on how many quotas, maybe the whiskey locker recruit or the admin recruit. And again, drill instructors have different names for them. Prac recruit was the knowledge guy, my PT recruit, whatever. And then the guides that end up as the guide, third phase, final drill. If you make it to final drill, third phase, you are typically going to graduate as the platoon honor man, and then you'll compete. There's 3 platoons on one series, 3 platoons on the other. Those 3 guides are the company or the platoon honor man, so they're going to graduate in dress blues, all 6 of them. Or big companies have 8, small companies might have 2. Typically 3 and 3, 6. So all 6 guides receive their dress blue uniform. And again, back when I went to boot camp, at one point, the J drill instructor said, snapped his fingers, let's go. Probably called me a name or something, idiot. Let's go, idiot. We walked across the street at MCRD San Diego, walked around the parade deck, and to clothing sales, to cash sales, to the little shop at. There was like stores, or there was civilization that close. I had no idea there was people there, humans walking around. It was crazy. And of course, I'm a recruit walking right behind the drill instructor, and he's heading eyeball straight to the front. And we get to the counter. He tells the woman, yes, he needs to get fitted for a blue coat and core frame shoes. And we had no ribbons and whatever, the buttons. And PFC chevrons. So now standing at the position of attention still while she went back, got a coat, a couple different sizes, measured me, whatever. And for a split second, he said, all right, eyeball liberty, go. And I was just so I could look around and actually see real live human people and stuff. And he said, lock it up. That lasted like about 4 seconds. Got fitted for my stuff, went back across the street. That was a long time ago. So I'm guessing they get their blue coat and core frame shoes and belt and all the brass. They probably get that. I'm sure it's a much better system now. But that's the 3 guides per platoon per series, so 6 in the company. That's the first initial way you earn your dress blues. Dress blues are not part of your inventory, your issue. So when all of you went to, again, San Diego, I know the warehouses where clothing is, issue, quarter sales, all that whole area down there, they issue you everything except the blue coat and the white cover. That's something you got to purchase on your own, earn it one way or the other, or purchase it on your own. And in the comments from that short, there was a lot of people went MSG duty, get something issued. I don't remember some of the other duties, but you get issued blue dress uniform depending on where you're stationed. If your MOS or your B billet or your billet requires it. Like on the depot, the drill instructors, I think we got extra blue coat, extra alpha blouse. We for sure got extra camis and khaki shirts. I had like 8 of them because you need that many to go through them because you're sweating through them, and a couple sets of ribbon. So again, your first opportunity to earn the dress blue uniform is boot camp. I wonder if OCS does it similar. Do they have someone that gets issued? Because for a Marine to purchase the entire thing is probably now about $400, right? And depending on how many ribbons and medals and badges that you wear, it could be probably about $500 or $600 if you're decorated. And the officers one, theirs is like probably $1,500. Theirs is a little more. There's more to it. And their sword, because all the officers got to have a sword. That's like $1,500 itself. Or I don't even know, but it's expensive. And then other than that, some of the comments were, I was in 8 years, never owned a set of dress blues, which is crazy to me because that's why I joined, because of the dress blues. Once the recruiter showed me that uniform, like 11 months of that, I was like, bro, you could have showed me this uniform and I would have signed that day. Right, with the leather neck stock. So as you go through the Marine Corps, typically, I'm guessing if you re-enlist one time, you're probably going to want to purchase them, because if you've went to a Marine Corps ball, you can go on your service alphas that's authorized, or mess night, or a prom, or anything that requires your highest uniform. That would be the blue dress uniform, blue dress alphas. Again, AKA dress blues. Everyone calls them dress blues. The textbook name is Blue Dress Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta. All right. Heavy J, what's up? He said, can you explain chest candy? So yes, chest candy is, again, purchasing all that stuff is expensive. Then if you have however many ribbons you've earned, ribbons and medals, right? Everyone loves to be awarded and rewarded. Marines are pretty stingy with them. So if you see a big stack on a Marine, he's done some stuff and he's been some places. Again, Marines are very, very stingy with that stuff. I think I told a story when I went to the Air Force E6 Academy. They called it NCO Academy. I think I felt pretty stacked as a staff sergeant by then myself, until I showed up to this Air Force school with 150 airmen E6s. And I mean, it was going up and over their shoulder, and they had tassels and badges and stuff on both sides of their uniform. It was crazy. Marines keep it simple, right? And you do some extraordinary, you earn a ribbon or a medal. It's cool. I like how we keep it simple. But chest candy is all that stuff you have on there. And when I wear medals, I like to mess with my kids and make them dangle. But that's get after it. All those ribbons and medals and badges are open for anybody. Just get after it. All right. Randall Knapp, what's up, buddy? He didn't earn his blues in boot camp, graduated late August, but had them in time for my first birthday ball on November 10th. Again, and you have those hardcore people say, if the Marine Corps didn't issue it to me, I don't need it. Because they do issue you blue trousers. I take it back in the cover because that's a uniform, the blue deltas, right? Blue trousers, khaki shirt, white cover. So the Marine Corps issues all that. The only thing they don't issue is the coat. It can be expensive, but go for it. You're gonna want it. When you see everyone else in, you're the only Lance Corporal at the Marine Corps ball in Service Alphas, which is a good uniform too. I like that one too. All right, love the moto, but chill. Oh, okay, someone else. Carrie Ann Marie Potts. Hi, you joined us. You don't have to watch us on catch up. John McJunkin, good to see you, bud. And for your, let's go on your command. For you at your ready on your command. Let's go. Bring it, McJunkin. I'm ready. They don't issue the code. No, my life as Zach. They don't issue the code. I told you I'm going to get the one they use for photos. That one's pretty cool. I'm going to get it and wear it on here one time. The only thing we close, I missed it. I see that 143 watching. What's up, Menachem Jared? 143 watching. That's a new record. Hot Rod is here. Hit the double tap it right now. Double tap it. You're watching. Double tap it. Get them likes up. That's a lot of views. It's interesting. Yeah, even the trolls. That's why I let the trolls hang out for a little while. Maybe get them to like and then block them. All right. John, can I go from Army to Marine Corps? OCS. Yes, you can. Absolutely. Talk to the OSO, Officer Selection Officer at the Marine Corps Recruiting Office. Go see a Marine recruiter. Talk to him. He'll get you in contact with the OSO, and we'll fix you. We'll get you to where you need to be. But yes, go for it. Carter, hang out. Hang out for a little bit. We're talking about pre-service, active duty service, and then post-service in everything America and patriotic. All right, that's what we're talking about. All right. Did I miss McJunkins? Robert, class of 91 out of Pendleton. Retired 2012. Still got my dress blues. Semper Fi to all devil dogs. All right, keep it. Get it ready. 250th birthday coming up. McJunkin, I'm ready. Keenan, what's up, Lindsay? Semper Fi, Sergeant Major, and the CC fam. Good to see you, bud. Do you have any advice for joining the Marine Corps? I'm currently in the Young Marines through the Marine Corps League. Stay with us. You don't have a name on there, but stay with us. This is your first step right here. Like and subscribe and share this channel and start paying attention. Here we go. John McJunkin. Poolee Gilroy asks, sir, can you help explain what the difference between staff NCO and warrant officers is? Money is the biggest. So staff NCOs are enlisted. They go up through the ranks. It starts at E6. That's a staff sergeant. The warrant officer ranks, you have to have been enlisted first. So you enlisted 4 years, 6 years, you become a sergeant, put in for the warrant officer package, and that goes up to headquarters Marine Corps. That gets signed by the commandant. That's who warrants get signed by the commandant of the Marine Corps. You have to have college, right? You have to have a degree and an MOS that you want to go to. And I'm sure there's tons of paperwork involved in it, but the biggest one is a degree and a desire to go to that MOS as a warrant officer. It might be in an MOS that doesn't have warrant officers, like combat engineers. There's no warrant officers in combat engineers. They become drafting and surveyors, 13, I don't remember the number, because that's warrant. But most other MOSs have a warrant officer. And it's primarily, that's where you want to be a warrant officer in the MOS that you know, because you are now going to become another duty expert. Same with the Master Sergeant and the Master Gunnery Sergeant. The warrant officers have as much, if not more, knowledge. All those two billets, the chief warrant officer from that MOS, or the Master Sergeant or Master Gunnery Sergeants, are the duty experts. So again, the big difference is the warrant officer makes more money. And more authority. Warrant officers can be company commanders, right? That's a big deal. They keep tossing around the idea of letting warrant officers fly in the Marine Corps like they do in the Army. I think that'd be cool. And the whole command, if you want to be in a command billet as a warrant officer. Again, those go up to the Commandant of the Marine Corps. Commissioned officers are from the President of the United States, URAH. Hope that helped. I hope I didn't go on a tangent, McJunkin. I asked the young Poolee if that answered his question. Good one, though. Enemy's Gunny saw Corporal Chesty today getting walked by a Lance Corporal and a PFC. And I think you said where you were today. You're in D.C. today. Kicking it. All right. Awesome. Have you ever seen a warrant officer? Menachem. Have I ever seen one? I'd shoot some butts on some warrant officers. Warrant officers are fresh ones, right? They were just a sergeant last week. Now they're a warrant officer. Yes, they're some MOSs. I don't know of an MOS that has a lot, but typically one per battalion, right? That's the gunner, infantry battalion. One or two, I'm going to say, usually is the max. And MLG, when I was there, we had 9 companies, like 3,000 Marines. There was a couple warrant officers throughout. One was my company commander. P-Dub, where you at? All right, Doc Holiday says, how does your MOS impact your promotion opportunities or career progression? Needs of the Corps. That's a horrible answer, but that's really what it boils down to. Doc and everyone else, when am I going to get promoted? It's the needs of the Corps. So that's when cutting scores are super high, because they don't need any more 0341s to be promoted to corporal. That's how, it starts at the top. If no sergeants, majors, or, excuse me, or master gunnings are getting out, they're not making room for anybody. That's why you can't stay until you're 80 years old. Got to get some fresh meat in there, right? Everyone's got to continue to move up. So it's a numbers thing. It absolutely is. So some MOSs that are more crowded than others, 03s, it's going to take you a little longer. But at the same time, in the 03 community, a senior lance corporal or a corporal carries a lot of weight. Huge. So granted, maybe in another MOS, they'd be a sergeant or staff sergeant, but the NCOs, because they're not as NCO or top heavy in the infantry as they are everywhere else, that's why a corporal in the infantry is pretty awesome. All right, right here. If you're in 0311, just do your MCIs and your Marine Corps reading list. And high PFT, high pistol, high rifle, any off-duty education you possibly can. Community service in case you get put up on a board. So you just got to keep getting after it. I was a sergeant for 5.5 years. The Marine Corps is going to go through times, and it depends on what rank you're at, probably, that is going to dictate how long you stay in that rank. So keep doing what you got to do. Keep getting after it. Whoever said that. All right. Poolee Dondowski, Ski, says, Was there ever a time when you as a drill instructor or senior drill instructor felt that you had to pull a recruit aside due to personal reasons? Every other day as a senior drill instructor, a couple of times a day, absolutely 100%. As much as the drill instructors seem like they're beasts and the devil and monsters, because they are all that, they are human beings as well. Most of them are husbands and dads. So at the end of the day, they're trying to make you a Marine. And you have other issues, personal problems. That's leadership right there. Know your man and look out for their welfare. Know your Marines, look out for their welfare. Know your recruits and look out for their welfare, because they can see when you got a bad letter, right? The Dear John letters that they get in boot camp all the time. Yes, and all of a sudden your toughest guy is crying. You have personal. You're in a personal relationship with your drill instructors day in and day out for 3 months straight. Yes, they're going to notice. Great question, though. By the way, that's very good. Awesome. And that's the ins and outs of boot camp. And again, you want it to be 3 months and 3 months only. So do what you got to do. Who's going? Jonathan, recruit. All right. Any advice on being a DI recruit instructor and shipping off to a division junior leadership school? Awesome. Soon it will be sent to recruit instructor school. That's like something like Young Marines or JROTC or Sea Cadets. Either way, anytime you can go to any kind of leadership school or camp, go for it. Teenagers, high schoolers, right now, any opportunity you can to get to a leadership course, leadership classes. Now Zoom, some leadership. Take as much as you possibly can. Leadership never stops. Never, never for the rest of your life. Even as an old man or old lady sitting on a park bench, you're going to use leadership. So refine it sooner rather than later, right? And then we're not talking about leadership. Don't get me started. But it doesn't stop when you move out of the military. You get a new job, a civilian job. You're put in a leadership position. Not only does it not stop, your work doubles and then triples the higher you go. So my recommendation for you prior to going to that, to being an instructor, a recruit instructor, start reading leadership stuff right now. Crisis of Command, read that. Crisis of Command, there's thousands of leadership books. Find one that does interest you and take notes. I take notes. Now we can do them on our phone. Just take notes. I have a leadership thought, or I see something leadership. I just jot it down and then discuss it later. Discuss it with y'all. All right. Sergeant Lee, aka Buddy Lee, asks, "What is the best leader via personality traits and principles?" Easy answer is someone who displays them all the leadership traits, all the leadership principles, and some that even aren't on there, like transparency. You literally got to be able to speak intelligently about every single one of them and display that. You're not going to be the best at any of them, or you are going to be the very best at it. That's completely on you. And here's how you tell: your results, your mission, your squad if you're a squad leader, your company if you're a company commander, your company if you're a civilian CEO. You'll know, but your company will tell you what kind of leader you are. If you're making money, everything's great. Production is increased. You're hiring more employees. People are trying to get into your organization because it's going that well. I'd be willing to bet the leader of that company is doing well, right? You got people wanting to stay, recruiting for you, right? Trying to they know somebody that's good at this, and just everyone at your organization is trying to make it better, 1% better every day. I'd be willing to bet you're a good leader. 180, you are in an organization that people aren't banging down the door to come in. Your production has decreased. Finances are a mess. People not only do they not want to stay, they're leaving early before contracts are up. Morale is low, right? People are complaining. There's lawsuits against you. When you got problems like that, something's going on in the leadership. That's when, again, detach, look back. Here's my end product last year, and here's my end product this year, and it's even lower than it was the year before. And if that happens more than 2 years, something's wrong. Something's got to change instantly. What was the question? I don't remember the question. Yes, you got me on leadership again. Try not to tie everything to leadership, but everything is tied to leadership. All right, go speed runner. You're new. Welcome. Welcome to SFMF. Semper Fi, my friend. Hang out for a little bit. We're talking about America's #1 issue right now, and that's leadership. But we also talk about military, pre-service, active duty service, and post-service, and everything in between. We want to share our experiences so no one learns the hard way. A quick little mission statement. All right. Real ones never leave. When it's hard, we stay and build until it's done. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And sometimes if it actually goes all the way down, then what? My time at basic school for one officer, we needed extra credit. Oh, man, I missed it. That was USMC vet. Doc, what kind of allowances or extra pay the Marines get besides base pay? A good one. Then I'll answer Poolee Delgado's. SDA pay. Somebody did ask about SDA pay in one of the comments, I think, because it said, do you still get DDA pay? And I didn't know what that was. Or was it you, Doc? That I think you meant SDA, special duty allowances. So yes, some B billets have special duty allowances. Drill instructor, recruiter, I think even SOI instructor, MSG, you get a stipend or special duty allowances primarily for uniforms. I'm guessing maybe the MSG is different and probably more because they got to maintain suits, right? They got to purchase suits and maintain suits. Drill instructors getting all those extra Charlies. You got to get impressed. You can only wear them one time. You're constantly getting impressed. This wasn't SDA pay, but we got free haircuts, even me. So there's extra pay associated to it because your job recruiters. Sometimes you're alone and unafraid, and you're somewhere that doesn't even have any sort of military base whatsoever. So I think their BA's probably higher, the BAH food allowance. But yes, and I'm sure there's plenty more. Recon, anyone in a flight status, I think they get extra pay. Doctors, dentists, those are Navy. But yeah, there's extra pay out there for you. All right. Why are you worried about pay? I didn't see the rest of that, but yeah, some of us didn't join for pay. That's for dang sure. Thank you for your service. What do you think about Hegseth is pushing us in the right direction? Amen. Also, why do y'all have to pay income taxes on money that came from taxes? Great question, Joe. I'm with you. I don't think we should have to pay any taxes. Depends on what state you're in too. All right, somewhere like no, doesn't matter. Oh, retirement pay. Just retirement pay. Some states tax your retirement pay. States like California, probably, where else? Hawaii. Those places tax. Maryland, Connecticut. All right, yes, the blue states tax your retirement. Little place like Texas, they don't tax anything. So it is different. Still great retirement, but great question. I think that was from Joe. Talk about Chesty Puller. I missed it, and whoever that was. Sorry, Lee, Buddy Lee. Going into Army JRTC, just got promoted, cadet private, cadet staff sergeant. That's weird how they do that. Oh, okay, here's Delgado's question. McJunkin. Poolee Delgado says, is it wrong to help your fellow platoon members as it may, what was the rest of it?
Maybe see us covering up their failures.
Great question. And if you haven't, You need to see Full Metal Jacket if you're old enough, and get with your parents first. The question is it okay, or is it good to help your fellow recruits that are struggling? 1000% yes. That's the whole idea. You're a team now. It's no more I. And here's a good indicator right now. Even Marines in the Marine Corps, you're doing a uniform inspection. The squad leader looks awesome. Not a single hit on his uniform. You go to his first fire team leader, and he needs a haircut. He has Irish pennants. His boots are scuffed. That's a fail on the squad leader, not that first Marine. The squad leader's job is to make sure they're perfect, and then he works on himself or herself. So it's a 100% teamwork aspect in boot camp. You're not going to survive. That's why they take I out of your vocabulary. It's this recruit, that recruit, these recruits. Sir, this recruit requests knowledge. That's why everything about the way you speak in boot camp is for a reason. Teamwork, right? You learn it quick. Great question. Chesty Puller, Dan Daly, Smedley Butler, your fave, or Carlos Hathcock. all warriors, all good ones. What about John Basilone, right? Gunny. I don't know if I could pick one over the other, and for different reasons. They all have their own special. Which one? Doc, you mentioned changes in the Corps. Which one do you think had the biggest impact on morale or combat effectiveness? The biggest change in the Corps that I think had the biggest impact on morale or combat effectiveness. So I think both of those. I think of the incident in Okinawa, Japan. This was in the 90s. I'm guessing they.
It's not a personal question; it's an overall question.
Well, I'm so saying the Marine Corps went to the gold card, red card system. Is that was just too specific? I mean, it's too small. That's small. The gold card, when it felt like they didn't trust the Marines to do the right thing because of a couple bad apples, the 10%. Biggest change in the Marine Corps, I think, that may, and we haven't seen it yet, that may impact combat effectiveness would be getting rid of tanks, getting rid of snipers, right? We haven't been tested on it yet. So I kind of think they did it. If they're going to do it, they did it at a good time. But again, we haven't been tested, so there's no way to know if that's is a good change or a bad change. Doesn't feel like it was a good change now. Maybe because I'm a older generation, and that's the stuff that got us to where we are. But I know the battlefield it changes too. For morale, I think the biggest one, and I've talked about it a few times, just the inconsistency of the tattoo regulations, allowing turbans and headdress and beards on certain individuals, completely going against everything that Marines are, our customs and courtesies, our history and traditions. I think when those things are challenged and the Marine Corps loses, in my opinion, on that, they give in, right? They have to allow DEI, the wokeness, the transgenders, the things that just aren't Marine. And someone will come in and want to change it. One person, like again, beards. Beards are not allowed in the Marine Corps. So go somewhere else. Face tattoos, they're not allowed in there, and you know that prior to going in. So why would you go in and then claim racism or something foolish? You went in knowing you couldn't have a beard in the Marine Corps. So again, it blows my mind that you would go into it without one and follow all the rules when you get in, and then you want to change the rules once you're in. And even if not for the entire Marine Corps, you want to change it just for you. That's unselfishness is one of our leadership traits. So it's the team effort. Back to boot camp. Back to taking I out of your vocabulary. I now want to grow my hair in a ponytail because it's part of my religion and culture. Well, you shouldn't have joined the Marine Corps because we don't allow it. And don't even ask. Fast reinforcement. Hell yeah. What did it say? Come around here, producer, and tell everybody what it said. Thank you, Fast. Thank you, Fast. Appreciate that. I didn't get a chance to read it in time, but seriously, really appreciate you. One standard, old Gyrene, if you can't comply, don't join the Corps. If the Corps complies, and that's, again, that's what's happening, and you see it, it's all over social media. The first one was, I think, the turban, and he wore eagle and anchor gold pin on a turban and a beard. I think why? There's services that allow that. Go to one of them. Don't try to change something that's been working for 250 years and working damn good. Leave it alone. Find something that already fits your beliefs and religions, and nothing against any of that. I'm down. Actually, do you believe today's leaders have the grit and backbone to lead in real combat? I think there's some out there, Doc, not as many. And I'll tell you a little story. I a little misdirected anger at my daughter's school, and that's because it was leadership, and all I could think in my mind is somebody said on here a long time, or maybe a year ago, make tough cool again. Was that on a short, or was that on a live? Make tough cool again. That's what we're missing, and I'm sure he probably heard it from somewhere else. Hopefully in the media, probably from the new administration. Make tough cool again. So when I was talking to this gentleman, the principal of this high school, I know he had only been there for a year. Seems like a good dude, kicking butt and taking names. I think the school is doing well. My kids are doing great in that school, representing, making the school look good, and just by their performance, right? JROTC, they're going to national championships. They're there now. They're competing. You know, I mean, that makes the school look good. Never in any trouble. 4.0s, both of them. So they're kicking butt. Scholarships, you've heard all the scholarships CC number 4 has received, Cadet CC. So she had to leave for JROTC. They had to get on the bus, and they were doing some signings, and she was going to miss it because something I had to fix, some paperwork, and I was going to get it done. It's done today. Problem is, she's not here today, and it's a week of this special moment for her. So anyhow, seems easy enough, and for him, it's like, well, it's not that big of a deal. You know, it's okay if she misses it. No, buddy, it's not okay. It's okay for you. This is the first time in her life she'll ever go through something like this, and if you play it down, that's fine for you, but it's a big deal to us. Do the right thing. Right, that's all I was asking him to do, and I tried to show it personally, but he wouldn't come out of his office and see me. So I had him on the phone. I said, "Look, this is what happened. I get it. I owe you something. Easy day. Well, due to policies, and this is how we always say. I get it. Policies are there for a reason. Everything's not black and white. There's case by case for everything." And I told him, "I don't want no special favors. I don't want you to do anything extraordinary." She's leaving the state to go compete is why she can't to represent the school in another state and hopefully for the nation. But she's wants to sign her thing today, like all of her friends are signing today because they're leaving. The rest of the school can finish like, well, we have a lot of kids and they're busy, the counselors are busy, just excuse. And it's like I tossed him a softball to knock it out of the park and make a manly leadership decision. Hey, sir, I hear you. I understand our policies. I got it. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this happen. We'll worry about it later. We'll worry about if I got backlash, I'll take it. Fight for your team, man. Fight for your students. Fight for your cadets, whatever job you happen to be in. Fight for them. What have you got to lose? Someone's going to get mad at you. You shouldn't have done that. You should have. I made this kid the happiest kid in the world, and their family, and that's outside the box. That's its own. Quit planning inside a box. You got to get outside the box. And I said some other things, but and in Curtis, I didn't go crazy. It was very gentlemanlike, but it's man up and make a decision. Take a butt chewing from your boss, maybe for someone else. That's why you're in that leadership position. I told him, I said, you must be new. We've been here 3 years. I see that you're fairly new, about a year. You're not good at your job yet. What is your purpose at the school? Why are you here? What are you going to do to improve the school 1% better every day? Every day, not just when you feel like it. Not on the day that signing, it's a big deal, and people every day, do the right thing. All right. So I did. It was a little misdirected anger because I said something to him. I'm tired of beta males. Yes, I said I'm tired of beta males, and I said misdirected anger at you. I'm surrounded by them right now, and I'm at that point. I just need someone to man up.
He's gonna snap, you guys.
I'm gonna snap. I'm gonna go do some burpees. Beta, get some men. Man, there's tougher women than there are men. I'm looking at one right now. All right. Yes. Look at that guy. He must be a beta male. All right, young Marine to see that. Sergeant Major, sir, I plan on listening to court. Era. But I get you feeling sad that someday my ancestors were once fighting against the Marines. You're American, I'm guessing, now, and you had nothing to do with that 100 years ago. So you need to do what's right for you today. If you're an American, you want to fight for the American forces that protect our country and our way of life, by all means. Yeah, get after it. I have some ancestors that my family probably fought against. What about the Civil War? Families fighting against family members. So it's what your beliefs and your convictions are right now. I didn't even know I wanted to fight for my country when I enlisted until I got in and learned that I want to fight for my country. I love our freedoms. I want to be the biggest, strongest, most lethal firepower in the world, and never look back. So it's what you want to do now. Hurrah. Hurrah, CK. Beta. That's what I always have been thinking a lot lately. I think I've mouthed it 10 times a day. I look, Marines don't play. We fight back in the war to save our brothers. Producer, what movie?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Look back at his comments. All right. Yes. Hey, Sergeant Lee, Buddy Lee. Those are the trolls, and they come. Hot Rod, we'll see you later, brother. Hey, Rod. Buddy Lee, those are the trolls, and we don't ban them right away. We hope they like grow up in a few minutes after they hang out on the channel, but we pray for them. They obviously have a terrible life, right? And they're mad at themselves. They're mad at their situation, and they want to try to bring somebody down. I'm okay with it. I got thick skin. So I wish I can like entertain. I would entertain them and embarrass them, but I don't. It's not worth any of our time. That's why we got a couple band hammers. What do you call a beta male in the military? Ghosty. Look at observant people like that. Bald. That's me. Sorry, stacking it. Lindsay, Sergeant Major. I'm digging up old bones from them, COVID pandemic, but going back to what you're talking about, standards. What is your, dang it, finish it. Lindsay's, please. Standards. Are you over there, producer?
I'm sorry, no, I'm not listening.
Lindsay, look at Lindsay's last sentence. What enjoyment do they get from being trolls? That's what I'm wondering, Jake. What do they really get out of it? They want to like offend me, and they want to go back and forth and get on some kind of battle. They're the keyboard warriors, right? They want some reaction, and I give them a reaction. I'm laughing at them, not with them. What did I want to know? What's the name said? Day and night. Oh, they hate us because they ain't us. Hey, good on you. All right, McJunkin, please allow me to advise Toshida. 42nd. Yeah, I mean, killing it. What's your MOS, Sergeant Major? 8999. That means we can go anywhere in any MOS and be the senior enlisted advisor to the commander. That's what an 8999 is. Happens at first sergeant. Remember that route? Gunny either gets promoted to master sergeant or first sergeant. The master sergeant stays in his MOS. Master sergeant stays in his MOS. He's a motor T gunny. He'll be a motor T master sergeant. He becomes the duty expert. Hard job. The first sergeant becomes 8999. That means he can go to a motor T battalion company and be the senior enlisted advisor to the commander on all things Marine related. Morale, welfare, discipline, pay, leave, all that stuff. The first sergeant is in charge of. The master sergeant, same unit. He's killing it on the truck line, right? He's changing time, making sure he's teaching Marines how to do their job because he's the duty expert as the master sergeant. And the same, from first sergeant to sergeant major, still NEMOS. Master sergeant to master gunnery sergeant, senior technical expert of that field. Someone asked earlier, here's the big question. 2 E9s, sergeant major and a master gunnery sergeant. Who is senior to who? Both E9s. Both make the same exact pay. Who's senior to who? Let's see. Let's see if y'all know. Let us know in the comments. 6227 says Buddy Lee. And only did it for a year in the fleet until they sent me back to Iraq. All right, McJunkin. Doc. 1, 2, 3, 4. United States Marine Corps. Thanks, Doc. Appreciate you, brother. Awesome. All right. Isone asks, so I'm having trouble with remembering my general orders, the Marine Corps history, even rifle drills. What to do? Tired of failing drills and tests. Here's what USMC Cece did. And correct me if I'm wrong. I see she's on here right now. She had general orders. Her bedroom had bunk beds, and she was in there by herself. The red slept on the top bunk. Oh, so her and her sister shared bunk beds. USMC Cece had the top bunk, and on the ceiling, she had, I think she wrote directly on the ceiling at one point, but she had the big poster board with the general orders. What else did you have up there? General orders for sure, the code of conduct, drill movements, chain of command. I don't know. What else did you have up on the board? So every night, in other words, when she laid in the rack, boom, at the position of attention, she would just read those till she fell asleep. One study type, right? Flashcards. Everyone says flashcards. Have people drill you. Put it on your, let's say your Walkman. We were talking about a Walkman today. I don't know what that is. So get it in your head. Fall asleep to it at night. General orders. Again, code of conduct, chain of command, all those, the basics, Marine Corps birthday, date, place, all those things just constantly. Anytime you're in school, you get a break. In between classes, you're eating your lunch, just flip through them cards and start drilling each other. The CC 4 and 5 was good. They had each other. They would help each other study, I'm guessing. Is that what y'all were doing in there? Right there, USMC Cece had general orders, leadership traits, leadership principles on a poster board. Again, boom, right on her ceiling every single night. That's how you get honor grad. That's how you get the Molly Marine Award. And that's how you receive a challenge coin from the Secretary of the Navy. That's USMC Cece. Excuse me. To take, to walk, to report, to repeat. That's it. Buddy Lee knows it. There's an acronym. That's not really an acronym, but all the first of each one. Traits has the acronym. JJ Dittai Buckle. Principles have an acronym too. I learned later on in JRTC, it's like BK Mets or something. Be technically and technically proficient. It's a weird acronym, but there is one for it. Maintain, get in a plank position and put on the deck. Oh, here it is. Okay. So I made the continuation to my question was standards and religious exemptions on vaccinations. What's my thoughts on that? So, great question. And I wonder what what would have happened to me, how I would have reacted if I was active duty at that time, because I had my strong convictions on no, you're not putting some in me that we don't even know for sure what it is. My entire life in the Marine Corps, Desert Storm being the first one, they gave us shots and pills and drink this and drink that and shoot this and all kinds of, like, felt like a lab rat, but I did it all. Had a buddy who didn't do any of it, deployed with me. I think I told the story 6, 7 months in, he gives me a bag of all the meds that they were giving us and we were all taking. He didn't take a single one. Nothing happened to him, nothing happened to me. With the controversy in the military, how they're kicking people out who are denying the shot, I clearly think that was wrong to force anyone out. And thank God the current administration is getting them back in with back pay. So it's I think they need to. The military is different than the rest of society, and that's one of the ways you follow orders. But were these orders really clear? They weren't putting anybody in jail because they didn't. So was it a law or was it a recommendation? Was it strongly recommended? I just think it could have been more defined. Because now look, now those people are, if they want to come back in, they're being allowed to come back in and back pay for the time they got kicked out. So interesting. I guess we'll see soon enough. We are completely different. We are honorable gang, brotherhood. And again, no. Later in life, I realized no better than non-military, but different for sure. Uh, Abby, I haven't seen you since 2014, attending your JRTC class. Thanks for your motivation. I enlisted in 2018. I'm still proudly serving our beloved Corps. Semper Fi, my friend. Good to see you. Glad you're on here. Glad you're doing well. And God bless you. Hang out with us. Carl Green, appreciate you, brother. I started the stream like F&D was with you all day. All right. Well, good. You didn't miss much in the first couple minutes. That was another entertaining first 5 minutes of the show. My pops has Gulf War syndrome. Took everything we had. He was given, but got sick because Iraq weapons, the burn pits. You breathe that in for 9 deployments, you're going to have something wrong, like asthma. Something's going to be wrong with you somewhere. So yes, any of you in any of those countries or positions or anywhere around any burn pit whatsoever, get it checked out. That's why I got SOB right now. SOB, short of breath. Always. I'm always. And that's, again, from the continuous months and months and years of breathing burn pits and explosions and all the crap that I taken in my lungs. Never smoked, but I have asthma. All right. I don't think I would have taken the shot. Keenan, you know what I mean? I'm with you. It would have been tough. Abby, how much? 50? Oh my gosh, Abby, thank you so much. Wow. Awesome. Thank you. Man, crazy. I didn't see anything pop up. Thank you very much. That's awesome. Randy, I took 2 shots, 2 boosters, had COVID 3 times. So really, it's a flip of the coin, a roll of the dice. Wow. Doc 20, if you ain't first, you're last, producer. What movie? Well, she doesn't know. What was the quote? Say the quote again, Doc. Oh, yeah, yes. If you ain't first, you're last. Oh, that particular one. Come on. Ricky Bobby. She said it. He said, come around here and say it. You got to see her say it, or if it didn't happen. All right, another Poolee one, and then we're going to move into some exit strategies. You know, we like talking about that. Poolee Pontinic. S. I leave for boot camp, May. That's tomorrow. During the Nationals 250th anniversary. I know it's a long shot, but can I ask our DIs if I can buy some fireworks? Uh, Great question. I'm only giggling because I imagine a recruit coming up to me as a drone instructor and asking if he can buy some fireworks. You said fireworks, right? Um, that would be an interesting. I don't recommend it. What I recommend against this, I gotta believe both depots are gonna do something on the 250th birthday this year. So just hang tight. To
Which I mean to the
who
super
did?
sticker.
Old Irene did 20.
Super sticker.
Awesome. Thank you. I can't see the super stickers. Joe, 4.99. I see those. Thanks for all the knowledge and your commitment to our country, sir. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you, brother. That's awesome. That's why we're all here. Shake and bake. There it is. Yeah. Shake and bake. You like that? I just thought of that right now. That's a great movie. Randall says you can ask a DI anything. I don't I don't recommend it.
Tap him on the shoulder.
Yeah, tap them on the shoulder. They really like that. They like that the best. There was we did a hike up north. I was a drone instructor. I think I may have told this before because this is the funniest moment for me as a drone instructor. I didn't even know what to do. I was at Greenbelt. Yeah, I was at Greenbelt. I was a Thrash hat. Just got done with the hike. We are up north. The drinking fountains in the barracks up north at Camp Pendleton, they're built into the wall. So you gotta put your head in. It's like if you look down the hall, it doesn't even look like there's anything there. It's built into the wall. So when you're taking a drink, like your shoulders up disappear. And the recruits aren't allowed to use that drinking fountain, that scuttlebutt. It's right outside the duty hut. It's for everybody, but of course we don't let the recruits use it. Just special occasions, the senior would, right? Because it was cold. So we just gotten back from this hike. It was a good one, killer one. The recruits are all online. They're taking their packs off, whatever. It's a little chaos in the squad bay. It's a good chaos. Senior already went in the duty hut and he's chilling. Well, I quickly took my cover off and I was getting a drink while the other drone instructor was doing something. And I wasn't listening. I didn't hear what he said, but all of a sudden the recruits were like going around there making a head call. And all of a sudden I feel this tap on the butt, like, hey, hurry up. I couldn't believe it. Another drone instructor wouldn't do that to me in no way in hell would a recruit do it. So I stopped the water and I had my cover in my hand, right? The smoke was down to my side. And I picked it up and I hear, oh, shh, right? And as I slowly turned around, of course, it was a recruit standing there. And I, of course, just went off. Well, apparently the senior had told him they could drink out of that fountain. He thought I was another recruit because we're in the same camis looking just like him. And he thought I was another recruit. Surprise! He might still be thrashing right now. He's somewhere at Weapons Field Training Battalion because, yeah, he slapped me on the booty. Said, come on, man, hurry up. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Double tap right now, if you would. Double tap. Don't forget, like and subscribe. We have merch. I'm trying to better way just to get that out to you, show you a couple stickers, maybe one shirt, but don't forget the merch is still online, sfmfmerch.myshopify.com, and like and subscribe. I always forget those things. All right. So transition, exit strategies. Wait, that's a good question. What advice to what are advices to does who wants to be a machine gunner? Davila, you got to get together. If you want to be a machine gunner, what advice do I have for machine gunners? 0331s. I talk about them a lot. You might believe that they're my favorite in the infantry and the weapons platoon. I do love 31s. I love a basic 0311 because you can easily train them to be 31s or 41s or 51s when we have those. So that's the beauty of being an 0311. If you specifically want to be a machine gunner, 0331, when you get to SOI, let it be known. Study that weapon inside and out before you even go and get as much knowledge as you possibly can. If you could ever get your hands on one, even better. But be highly proficient with that machine gun if you want to be a machine gunner. And let it be known. Let your combat instructors know that's your interest. It doesn't always work like that, but just let them know. And then if you still 0311, you get to the fleet, get to your first duty station, tell your chain of command there, tell your squad leader, fire team leader. That's what I really want to be. Can I train on it? Make it happen. So I mean, Sergeant Major and Mrs. Cece missed it.
He just said deuces. He's headed out.
Who did?
Keenan.
Keenan. We'll see you, brother. Thanks for joining us. Rando, Junior DI asked me if I was a drinking man. No. Then he told me to drink. Then he told me to drink a bottle of Listerine. I refused. He punched me in the gut. Got another recruit. Got sick. 1986. Not now. 86. Well, you're old. A little different back then. Good day, Dave. Good to see you. See you, brother. Keenan. Hit the like button. Hit it. Hit it. Hit it. All right. So the next step prior to you getting ready to go and your journey in the first year, remember we talked about the first year is basically your training cycle. Which one?
Just say thanks to Joe.
Joe? Thank you, brother. With great content, you don't have to be a salesperson. It sells itself as your channel does. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that. What are we selling here? Motivation, right? And just a community of like-minded people, right? So again, the trolls come and go. That's going to happen. Some people come and say, "What is this channel? I'm not in the military." I like when those stay just as much as I like all of you staying. We want those. We want people outside the military to know this stuff. You don't see this on videos. You don't see it in movies. You don't see it in the news, right? This is a real day in the life, right? That's what if I'd have known, if my producer would have told me to 20 years ago, I'd have done day in the life a lot. And how valuable would that be now to current kids getting ready to join the service? The day in the that's what a day in the life is.
Yeah, like those campers back then were like.
I took a camcorder into the gas chamber, and it's destroyed now, but it was like this big. How cool would that be to be able to watch? We do StreamYard and show a video of inside the gas chamber. All right, we haven't talked a lot about the gas chamber. That's gonna be our next one. So that's what the channel is. We are telling a day in the life through all of you. You're telling the day in the life. You're preparing those who are getting ready to go in. You're preparing those or helping those ones that are in, and then we're helping the ones preparing to get out or are already out and are struggling. Right? That's what this community is all about. So that's what we're selling. Motivation. All right. All right. I'm not military, and I have only been here 5 minutes. I like the channel so far. Jeff Miller, Era, Semper Fi, brother. Hang out with us for a little while, and we'd love to have you. We want to hear everyone's perspective on everything that we talk about. Right? I told you about my men's group I was involved in. I was the only military member for the longest time until finally they were like, so it took me a while to open up. I did a little touchy-feely for me, men talking about their feelings and stuff. Took me a while to open up, but once I did, these guys were like, "Oh my God, we had no idea. We had no idea that the military went through this. We thought you lived on this base that was all high and mighty. You get paid tons of money and everything's free, and you don't have to pay for housing and food. And so it's just a perspective that people don't know. Here it is. Hang out, Miller. Appreciate you. All right. Look right here. Thinking about joining the service, better for self-gratification to not to serve tyrant government. Well, join the services. The Marine Corps. All right. Joe says, just to make it clear, I never served. I chose the easy way out of life. That's why I respect you more. Joe, however you're serving, whatever you're doing, you're not in jail, right? You're not committing crimes. You're not doing anything crazy. So you are serving also. That's why we talk about pogues in the Marine Corps, personnel other than grunt, and grunts talk trash about pogues. Grunts couldn't do anything without pogues. Nothing. Well, you could fight for a day or two, But you need more ammo, you need food, you need transportation, you need pay, you need all those things. So just like the military can't do it ourselves, we need our civilian counterparts as well. So we're good. Appreciate you being here. Uh, Abby, you know any funny or cool experiences with any of the Motor T operators while you were in? It was the MOS I chose, and I go to cross train with the combat engineers all the time and loved it. Um, yes, a lot of time with Motor T as an engineer. Right, we always need a ride. We got gear to haul and trailers. A couple of funny stories. I mean, one that sticks out in my mind is on the Big Island of Hawaii, driving through the lava, dry lava, of course. But it's terrible. There's no roads. It's sharp. It cuts tires. It cuts your boots up. It's usually raining when we go. Whenever the Marines are in the field, it'll rain, and then the slick parts of it's dangerous. Very, very scary and dangerous. Well, we did have a driver, and it was at night, and we're of course tactical, so no lights. He bumped into the truck in front of it, and we were right in the back of dump trucks. We didn't even have 7 tons. We were, for whatever reason, his dump truck. He kept bumping into the dump truck in front of us, not on purpose, but that's how dark it was, and he just wasn't maintaining it, or whatever communication. And our driver was getting mad because he kept stopping. He was getting mad because he kept bumping him. And out of nowhere, and this middle of this battalion size evolution in the Big Island of Hawaii, had been there months already, tired, hungry, thirsty, hot, wet, everything. These guys get out and start duking it out while the convoy's still going. They went around us. And finally, they have coyotes, they call them out there. They had a red flares stop everything because these two Motor T drivers in the same platoon were duking out on the side of the road. Pretty funny. Then they finally got in. We caught up with the rest of the convoy. They switched positions, and we were good to go from there on out. Um, Motor T. I don't want to say what their slogan is on here because this is a PG channel, but they have a couple. Jeff Miller, any good practical jokes that got played on a superior? So funny, I did a short on that a while ago. Check it, Jeff. If you have time later, go through, check out some of the shorts and the lives, and like and subscribe to all of them. Sending people to get stuff. That's a welcome to the unit kind of hazing, if you will, in the lightest sense of the form. But you send somebody to go get a board stretcher, level bubbles, just the bubbles. Um, and you guys came up with some that I had never even heard of before. Some great ones. ID10T forms, right? ID10T, write that sucker down. I'd like to give some out around here. But I did have, this kid we're on ship, and this guy was annoying already, and he was a fellow NCO. The Navy played a trick on it because it was their ship. We're just catching a ride to go fight somewhere. And they told one of our guys that he got orders, right? He got orders. He had to fly off the ship. The helicopter was going to come pick him up, take him to the mainland or wherever. And they put him out on the flight deck at midnight. All your bags ready to go, and we're like, "There's no way he's not going to fall for it. He's not going to fall for it." So at midnight, we all crawl out and open the hatch up and see him standing. It was raining, standing on the flight deck, rocking with the ship. Had his sea bag, his uniform on, his rifle. He was ready to go. That same tour, as funny as I thought that was, out of nowhere, one of the sailors comes down to the berthing area, and there's 500 Marines in one stinky berthing area, with sleeping four on those hammock racks and canvas racks. And they're like, "Where's Cece? Where's Cece? Corporal Cece, you got a phone call." Nowadays, that wouldn't be a big deal. I'm sure they have phone calls on ships, but this was before there was phones on ships. That I didn't think about that. I had a wife and two kids at the time. First thing I thought was something was wrong. So like, we have to go up to the captain's stateroom, and he's got a phone in there. Just let him know that you got the message. And I was like, oh crap! And our ship Marines know, your way in on a ship. Marines know where the gym is and the chow hall and the flight deck. It's pretty much it. Maybe the well deck if you got to go get thrashed down there. That's it. You don't really know where anything else is. So I'm running around and go up a deck and down a deck and asking a sailor every night. It was later in the evening. Where is the captain's stateroom? I get to it, and I was now worried, man. What kind of phone is it? Do I need a calling card? Do I need change? How do I make a phone call on a ship out in the middle of the Pacific? And I knocked on the hatch, boom, boom, boom. As soon as I knocked, it was like it came over me. Ain't no phones on a ship. Ain't no communication like that. And of course, the captain answered the door, and I'm a young Marine, and he's like, let me guess. Mail buoy, phone call. What'd they tell you? He already knew that his chiefs were playing a joke on one of the Marines. So yes, the mail buoy is another one, and I've seen a couple people on there before. Get the lookout, mail buoy, lookout. You just stand out on the flight deck again, looking for the mail buoy going by. So yes, they had out of on call. So they probably did have some kind of communication even back then, but not a phone call where I could call my wife. That certainly didn't happen. URAH, thank you. Buddy Lee, tell them about being cool with the Navy cats, doing chow.
John, did you have another cool question?
McJunkin, let's hear it.
Did you have two recruits in the same platoon who you had to separate due to them fighting each other? And were you able to stop them?
So, a question from a recruit from one of John McJunkin's Poolees. Have you ever had a fight in your platoon where you had to break up the two recruits? Yes, nothing that sticks out that was crazy, like they were beating the crap out of each other, because it doesn't. I mean, it happens so fast, and there's always somebody around. If some happen late at night, like the blanket parties that you hear about and you see, like on Full Metal Jacket, that may have happened. I don't. I don't think it does anymore. You're asking about boot camp, right? Yeah. But cadets recruits do get on each other's nerves quickly. And I remember one time we were on the third deck, so we're going up the stairs, and everyone's pushing each other. I had this one. He had a very heavy accent. He turned around and said, "Stop pushing me." He was telling another recruit to stop pushing him, and he's like, "But we got to hurry up." And they're running somewhere, and of course, we had drumsticks like, "Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up!" Chaos going up the ladder well, and this one bigger, the cadet in front, the recruit in front, just turned around, bam, boom, just blood went everywhere. The kid fell over. All the other recruits caught him and picked him back up. We got him to the top, and we punished the guy, but it wasn't. I don't remember any just straight up fights. You save it for pugil sticks, right, where it's controlled. You save it for hand to hand. You save it for McMap training. So there's times, but out of anger and them wanting to hurt each other, I didn't experience any of that. Nothing crazy. They definitely get on each other's nerves. You figure 89 teenagers from 89 different walks of life in one open squad bay for 3 months. There's going to be some stuff going on. And you expect it. That's when being tough is cool. Again, bring back toughness. Man, that's what we're making there, man. Women are making women to fight for our country. So, yes, be ready. All right. We have still some more. Old Jyrene, you taking off? Good night, brother. Semper Fi. Have a good night. We'll see you. What is today? Wednesday. We'll see you Sunday. Doc, do you think the way drone instructors are trained and expected to lead has changed for the better, or has something been lost? Man, Doc is solid on those questions. So here's what I think about DIs and DI training and how they are today. Last time I was on the depot, we were on the depot maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, a couple months ago, and over the years we go to graduations when we can. We drive around. I'm that guy, that creeper driving around. I just want to see some drill instructors in action. I want to hear them. I want to hear recruits, right? I want to see them thrashing. We went to receiving barracks one time and did 22, remember, with some recruits, right? They were just on a working party. Um, so I'm dancing around your question, Doc, because here's the thing. The SOP for DI school, DI training, DIs in general hasn't changed probably in 100 years. The rules and regulations, the SOP hasn't changed. You can't beat the crap out of a recruit. It's frowned upon. It's illegal. There's 4 times you can touch a recruit. There's 4 times you can, 4 names you can call a recruit. Those rules have never changed. Society has changed a lot. We talk to these old Gyrene and these older guys in the 60s and 70s going through boot camp. Is it different today? Hells yeah. A lot different. Is it because of the drill instructors? Nope. It's because of society and what's acceptable now. I went in a long time ago. I didn't get my butt beat by the drill instructors, but they manhandled the heck out of me a lot. That one, I even did a short on it. One time, my senior drill instructor, I finished a PFT, I killed it. He's like, nice job. He was going to high five me. And I got excited. I was going to high five the senior, and he pulled down to the last minute, bam, hit me in the sternum. You don't high five the senior drill instructor? You out of your mind? But that wasn't out of hate and anger. He wasn't trying to injure me. He was trying to teach me a lesson. Still a damn recruit. So, and you hear about drill instructors, and I've been with drill instructors that got relieved for recruit abuse. So that just lets me know it's not tolerated. The drill instructors now just have to get more creative. Instead of beating them up, throwing an elbow, walking through the chow hall and getting a cheap shot in, put more thought into it, put more leadership into it, and train that recruit so he feels like he's got his butt beat by the drill instructors. So it takes a little more. It takes it. Our Marines today are smarter than they were, not any more, not smarter than they were. And they weren't dumb back then. It's again, it's what society is, the expectation society has put on the drill instructors, Marines in general. So I think the drill instructors now are just as hard, just as tough as they were in the 70s, but now they just have to be more leadership, creative mind about it. Right? Marines the same way. If you have to look over your shoulder for what you're getting ready to do, to see if the sergeant major is there, to see if the colonel is there, you shouldn't be doing it. If there's no training value to what you're getting ready to do, don't do it. Right? It's first got to the infantry, and this wasn't that long ago. First experience in the infantry as a first sergeant. The first night I go around during field day, I see mattresses flying off the 3rd deck. See refrigerators emptied out in the catwalk. They're just thrashing this barracks. Of course, I pull the end staff and chills aside. What's going on here? What are y'all doing? This ain't boot camp. Oh, we're just setting precedents and discipline, and they weren't thinking outside the box at all. And what they did is create more work for themselves. Now they got to stay until all that's cleaned up and counsel, and it leadership. Right back down to leadership. What was the previous first sergeant's message to his platoon sergeants on field day? Thrash the hell out, let them know who's the boss. You do that by your performance. You're setting the example by doing and performing all manner of things thereunto pertaining. It says right there in your warrant, lead. Lead from the front. Which one? I'm sorry, producer pointing to one.
Do you think boot camp's more physically dependent with McMath and having both the PFC and the CFT?
Yeah, do I think boot camp is more physical now with McMath? And now both PFT and CFT. That's a good question, and I think mathematically probably yes, because they added the CFT. McMap is new, but we had hand-to-hand before that, line training before that, so there's always been some form of karate, some kind of martial arts, way before my time. So the hand-to-hand fighting has always been there. So that's not added, just a different program in the McMap system. But adding the CFT certainly did. I think it added a little bit, but not much. I still don't think we PT enough, period. All right. Poolie Martinez asked, did you ever have someone in boot camp or in the fleet who was doing their best but was still making mistakes? How did you handle it? Absolutely. And people say you learn more from your mistakes, right? Sometimes you do need to learn the hard way before you finally get it. So yeah, mistakes are made all the time. Muhammad Ali quotes, you don't lose a fight when you get knocked down. You lose a fight if you don't get back up, right? Get knocked down 7, get up 8. So it's how you recover from that mistake that you did make. Are you going to make mistakes? Yes, 100. We still do today. It's what you do with that mistake and how you learn from it and how you grow from it. Never quit or give up. That's it.
Wait, Doc had a great comment.
Let's hear it, Doc.
When the uniform comes off, the recruit graduate. What part of you do you hope stays with them for life?
When the uniform comes off, when they get out, or they're just out of boot camp?
When the uniform comes off, what do you hope stays with them for life?
Recruits. Marines are recruits, Doc? Okay, so I think the question is, at the end of the day, when the uniform comes off for the last time, what do I hope personally, what stays with that individual, that Marine? Um, leadership, and just good old fashioned leadership 101. And that's why again I've been struggling recently because where is crisis in command? Where's the accountability? Where's the passion for what you're doing? Where's the I'm gonna fight for my brothers? I'm gonna fight for my team. When does it become pride? Good one, Eric Green. I want them to have that pride of living the leadership traits and principles, the honor, courage, and commitment, like forever. And yes, I get that. Let it go, man. You ain't active duty anymore. Let it go. I'm never gonna let it go. Already equated to that golfer. He's golfed his whole life in the professionals. He's got a jacket. He's won all these masters. When he retires, should he stop golfing? Never golf again? That's been his life, right? You're not, especially with Marines, you're not in the Marine Corps. You're a Marine for the rest of your life. It has changed you for the rest of your life. 4 years. Well, I saw you on here, Lay Cook. Anything you take from 35 years ago when you're in the Marine Corps, 4 years and got out. Do you think there's something still in him that says he's a Marine? Well, when you just see him, you talk to him, his work ethic, right? That's enough. Was it only the Marine Corps that taught him that? No, but the Marine Corps teaches you some valuable tools that you don't even realize you're doing because it's not a job. You didn't go to a week's worth of training or watch a couple of videos. It transforms you. It changes your life forever. Do people have bad experiences? Do we have our 10%? Do we have our bad Marines here and there? Yes. Same as any organization in the world. And it's unfortunate, but they're there. Somebody said it today in a comment, the 10% of the 10%. Those are the real bad ones. Like, man, I wish you could do a redo on that guy. This just wasn't for him. But the other 99.9% has put something in their system that will last a lifetime. And it does. So pride is good. Purpose is another one. And this is, I told you in the beginning of the show, I don't even remember who I was listening to. I was swiping like we do. And this dude, because I think the title it caught my eye, said leadership or something. So I listened for a minute. And he said, before, and it wasn't a military guy, so he didn't say leadership traits and principles, but he said, before, your leadership tools and your toolbox full of lead by example and do the right thing and be the first to take care of your people. He was quoting some quotes. But he said, before you do all that, he said, you have to know your purpose. I didn't get it right away. And I've been thinking about it. This was yesterday. Know your purpose, especially for those of you trying to climb the ladder as fast as you can to get to the top. Why do you want to be on top? Why do you want to be on mid-level? And I'm even talking about my own brother's been, he's the one, besides Lake Cook, no, you give Lake Cook a run for work ethic. My brother's the hardest worker I know. In the same company, for your same type of work for 40 years now. And they keep wanting to move him up. It's his turn. He deserves it. He rates it. Move up, move up, move up, move up. But that's not what his purpose is. He likes to work. He's a couple years older than me, and he just has to work. And he knows he doesn't want to be that pogue. He doesn't want to sit behind the desk. Doesn't want to put on a suit and tie and do those corporate type things. That's him. He even refused raises because that job supervisor, then assistant to the whatever, all those come with raises. His purpose was to work in the field, training the new guys, and just a hard day's work. Right? Way more than 40 hours a week. And he has to travel to and from. That's his purpose. So know your purpose before you, because he could have easily taken those promotions, get paid more money, done less, or done more just mentally and logistically. That wasn't his purpose. So know your purpose before you go for that next job, that billet, before you take a position away from somebody who has the purpose of being there mentally, physically, and job wise. Don't take it from someone that, if you don't have a purpose, your purpose just may be something different. Know yourself, seek self improvement. If it's not, find your purpose and then start working towards it so you do have the right purpose to be in that position. All right. How'd you get on that? Jeff Miller says, my purpose in life is to help others, service to others. But love it. I'm a teacher to adults wanting to learn English to make their lives better. Amen. Jeff Miller, you're serving right there. You know your purpose. If they say, congratulations, right now you can be the superintendent of, is that your purpose right now? Maybe it is later. Know your purpose. You have to decide what your purpose is. Much love, URAH, Buddy Lee, Devil Dog. Keep helping. I was happy to see someone actually giving correct advice to the young ones. I don't know if it's always correct. That's what y'all are here for. You got to fact check me, right? You got to bring the receipts. These are just these are just ideas, observation, right? Years and years of observation, talking to people, any opportunity I get, never stop learning. Never, never, never stop learning. So, Major, does pride come from the title or from what you had become to earn it? Another great one, Doc. Where does that pride come from? So, again, I think I'm a little extra, a little eccentric, maybe at times. I unless I could grow a beard overnight, I don't want to be in that in between phase of looking like I haven't shaved. I still put my socks on left foot first, trousers on left foot first, shorts on left foot first. I still do things that because I don't want someone to see me out in town looking like a bum when I'm not representing the active duty Marine Corps anymore, but I am a Marine. So I think the pride needs to come from within, right? Now we'll talk about those guys with and some of you are on here, the lowest regulation haircut possible, right? Wearing your camis with no undershirt in. When you walk that gray line, just to walk that gray line. There's mornings I don't want to shave, and on active duty, there's mornings I didn't feel like shaving. I didn't feel like pressing out my camis. But that's where the pride comes in. There's no way in hell one of my Marines will catch me without a fresh shave, fresh haircut. Right? When does a good Marine need a haircut? Never, because you always have one. Those are the eccentric, or what's that word people use? What do people call me? OCD, because that's from the pride from within. Did I learn it in boot camp? From my drill instructors, from mentors along the way, from being a drill instructor myself? Right? Because I'm completely fanatic and anal, if you will, with drill. It's hard for me to watch a ceremony and not critique every drill movement, every unit leader, the color guard for sure, because that's pride. They're carrying the Marine Corps flag, or they're dressed like Marines. They're cadets, recruits, young Marines, devil pups. It doesn't matter to me. They're representing the Marine Corps. That comes, I think, from within. Man, amen, Eric Green. Have you ever wanted to promote someone but couldn't because of regulations? Joe, great question. Yes, that happens as well. And that's, again, the job of a leader to do what you can to fight for that Marine that deserves to be promoted. They didn't meet the time of grade, time of service. They had bad paperwork. There's reasons that are going to stop you. That doesn't mean stop fighting for him or her. On the other note, 180 the other direction, there's Marines that do get promoted that aren't ready or shouldn't be. So again, how much do you do as a leader? Do you fight for the ones who deserve it? Do you, at the same time, let's hold off on this promotion until this Marine is ready? That's leadership, 100% leadership issue. All right.
Somebody asked earlier, what do you think of Dakota Meyer?
What do I think of Dakota Meyer re-enlisting? Did a short on that. Again, those of you who don't watch the shorts, as soon as we hang up here, you're going to check out the shorts and like them and share them. What do I think of Dakota Meyer re-enlisting? And I did do a short and had a lot of great comments, mostly in favor. Everyone's motivated. Here's the one that the consistent one that came up is like, man, that dude's going to be a pain in the butt for any staff NCO because he's a sergeant. Not for long. He won't. Here's what I think. That's what I think. I see nothing negative about it. There's even some. It's a publicity stunt. Why would he do that? He's just going to go to a unit and expect special treatment, special everything because he's a Medal of Honor recipient. Well, you goddamn right. He's a Medal of Honor recipient. However you feel about that Medal of Honor, period. I don't know him personally, so I can't tell you, well, he's a good dude and he'll be humble. And I don't know at all. But as a senior enlisted, I would love to have him in my unit. And I try to use the phrase I would take advantage of. And I don't mean it, I would take advantage, I would capitalize on the fact that he is a Medal of Honor recipient, been to combat, did some pretty extraordinary stuff. We had Gunny Rod on here a couple weeks ago who was with Dakota Meyer. So the story ain't BS. I mean, there were some freaking warriors in that whole battle during that time. So can you imagine and he's grown up a lot. He was young when it happened. And after even all the press interviews and the stories and statements and telling the story over and over again, even Gunny Rod, you could tell some of the stuff was still like he was remembering stuff as he was recounting everything that happened. But I would completely capitalize on Dakota Meyer's experience, and not just in combat. Not as he was in 03, right? Dakota Meyer was in 03. Just his tour of duty, what led up to it, what was going through his mind, any PTSD struggles after, now still today. He's just a wealth of knowledge, and he knows things that he probably doesn't even know that he knows because no one has asked the right questions. So if you have a Marine, you're getting ready to deploy. You got a Marine who wants to go UA, doesn't want to deploy. Hey, Sergeant Meyer, talk to this kid. See, maybe you have he's an asset, I think, to any unit. Again, I don't know him, so I don't think he'd be a pain in the butt to his staff NCOs. I ain't doing no police call. Do you see this, baby? I just can't believe that he would be a Marine like that. And he's going into the reserves, everyone knows. So I think that's probably better for him. I think that was a good decision to go reserves. But pride that we were just talking about, he's got that deep down he bleeds green. And he wants, I'm telling you, I'm still waiting on a phone call for them to call me back in. Hey, we need you. I would be there. Well, I guess I'd wait till tomorrow.
Let's talk about the age weight.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, the age waiver, we haven't, did I do the short? So I did a short on the possibility of the age.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay. What is the age limit? The age limit for the Marine Corps right now is 17 to 28. So you can enlist at 17. You can even go to boot camp at 17, right? You just have to get your parents' signature. That's it. So 17 to 28. If you're over 28, so under 17, again, there's a waiver for everything. I don't think there's ever been a waiver for under 17. We can look that up. But there have been many waivers for over 28. Any recruiters out there, do you have one specifically? We did a story on one about a year ago, 34 years old. He graduated boot camp at 34 years old. Right? It took him 14 years to get in. Finally went, only graduated. So there's age waivers. They say it stops at 32. Oh, was it 35? Yeah, 35 to anyhow. The Marine Corps talking about right now on increasing that to 42 years old. 42? 42 years old. I barely missed it by a year or two, but 42 years old. So if depending on what you did in your life, and some of you on here, I'm too old, I'm 30 years old, it's too late for me. No, it ain't. What's holding you back now? Waivers. Get a waiver. Ask for a waiver. Of course, your physical fitness is going to be observed and maybe even a little stricter. The standards got to remain the same, right? I don't think they would increase it, but they would highly favorable for you to have a high PFT and a CFT. Be doing 20 pull-ups, a good 3 mile run in, I'll say 18, 19 minutes, plank for days. Whatever the minimum requirement is, I'd be willing to bet at 42 years old, you're going to have to completely just kill it. So the rest will be fine. It'll be hard for a 40-year-old to be in boot camp with a bunch of 17 and 18-year-olds. That's going to be the mental challenge. The eyes, if they're smart, because you'll be older than the drill instructors. So that's going to be a challenge for you and the drill instructors because you're going to have a 22-year-old bald dude yelling at you like, you piece of, you better get it, hurry up and push. So that's a mental challenge for all parties involved. You're going to be older than the series commander, the company commander, probably around the same age as the first sergeant, right? So challenges all the way around. Should that stop you from becoming a Marine? Nope. You got what it takes. Go for it. So interested to see that happen. 42 years old, going to boot camp. Love to be his drill instructor. Daniel, thinking about doing it when I'm 18. Get after it, Daniel. Hang out on this channel. Like and subscribe. We will get you ready right here. We can lead you to water, but you got to do the drinking. All right, so you'll find out anything and everything you need to know. Just go online. There's some mental challenges right there. Yeah, I missed that. 42 years old mark, almost 11 years ago. Dang, you're old, Jared. What part of your pride in the Marine Corps still drives who you are, even in silence when nobody knows you served? Doc is on fire. You need to write a book, Doc. What part of your pride in the Marine Corps still drives you who you are, even in silence when nobody knows you served? Leadership, man, just the pure fact of leadership. Again, in that story with the principal, he's a civilian, minding his own business, and I just drowned him in leadership expectations. But that's the pride in me that I can't allow that to not be discussed, not be open. Again, I'm open to a fault, right? I'm honest to a fault. Lay Cookie, where you at? If someone is a poor leader, I'm not going to say you're a poor leader, but I'm going to beat around the bush long enough to where he's going to know either he's going to have to step up and lead or move out of the way, or bad things are going to happen. And I can't let myself not to, Doc. And here's where the pride comes in. I could easily mind my own business. Let him be. He's a poor leader. He'll be a poor leader the rest of his life. Not that I want to fix him. I don't want to be the hero and fix everybody with issues because I need fixing. I'm not the best leader. Observation and facts tell the story. So when I see that in someone and I see that happening, and my God, brother, you're destroying this unit. That's the man in me. That's the Marine in me that just wants you. What can I do to help you man up? Intestinal fortitude. How do we dig down and get that out of you so you can take charge? Right? You don't need to know all the answers. Good God, I don't know all the answers and never claim to. But good, honest observation and feedback is how you come to an agreement. Is how you fix those ailments. Nothing worse, and it's I don't know which is harder, who to hear it from. And I want to believe a peer. I'd rather a sergeant major tell me I'm screwed up instead of a junior Marine, right? Not even a senior Marine. I would want it to be a peer. And because peer pressure, we're good at that. Just drink, bro. Everyone's doing it. Come on, we're all doing it. That's easy for peers to do. What's hard for peers to do is tell you, hey, brother, you gained a little weight. I don't want to say it in front of anybody. Hey, brother, you made some bad leadership decisions. Hey, brother, let's talk about this because your unit is going downhill, right? On the depot, that's one we talk smack. Yeah, our platoon's better than yours, but it could be also, hey, brother, really, your platoon is out of control, and you got to do something. You got to change something. And if you don't have a peer around you that can be honest with you like that, that's when you have to rely on. You have to listen to those observations from someone else, from the private, right? From one of your team captains, right? One of your section leaders. You keep saying this. Please explain it to me and you, one on one. Why do you keep saying our unit is failing? Why do you keep saying the morale is low? Well, in my observation, that's back to that after actions topic, discussion, and recommendation. And it's not this is screwed up, you screwed it up, you need to be fired. Nope, it's topic. This was the event that we did, Family Day. All the families out there was no shade for the families. We ran out of food. There was no signage. These are just things that I observed. That's the discussion. Recommendation, hey, form a committee, make a checklist, assign people, let's try it again. A good leader would say, oh man, and let me back up. A good leader would say, hey, let me get all you section leaders right here. I want to do a family meeting or a family gathering. Easter Sunday, let's throw a big party for the families. Can we do this? Where should we do this? Get thoughts and ideas from everybody, then put it together. Right. Then when we go over it immediately after the celebration, what went well? What didn't go so well? And what can we do to make it better? Problem is those are words just coming out of leaders' mouth. Let me know how we could fix it. Well, I let you know last year and the year before. Mm, and the year before that, and it's the same problem 4 years later. So, do you want me? Someone said, "Don't give up. You got to keep." How long do you continue to try to help before it's a lost cause, or it's just not going to change? That's again, every scenario, every situation is different, but it does happen that fast, and it could. Got to be open minded. Know yourself. Seek self improvement. Know your purpose. Why are you in that position? If you can't answer that like immediately, you're in the wrong position, right? Personal opinion. All right, we're going. We're going to talk exit strategy a little bit. I saw the time check. Appreciate you. All right. Uh, so I major speaker. Speaking of enlisting over 40. I'm competing in the senior triathlon. I already had to run 2 blocks to Dunkin' Donuts, swim in my hot tub, and bicycle a block to the PX for a soda pop every day. Good training right there. It's always bulking season. So those donuts are good. Always. November 10th, 1775. So exit strategy. Here's the big thing we always like to talk about. When do you start your transition? I don't think that there's an exact time or date or 1 year out, you better start. You might not know that you're going to get out 1 year out. What are the benefits? You completely changed my. So it's never too early. Unless you just finished the training pipeline in the year, your first duty station in the fleet. If you think you're getting out in 4 years or 3 years, start planning now. Never too early. I want to say it's never too late. You're just going to be playing a lot of catch up. And what I always told myself, I realized one time, I'm going to stay till 20. That was a big deal. 20 years is a long time when you're 18, 19, and 20 years old. 20 years seems like forever. But if you re-enlist once, I highly recommend go to 20 because retirement is so good. Retire after 20 years, you get 50% of your pension, your base pay. So if you retire after 20 years, let's say E8, a first sergeant or master sergeant, your base pay, you get 50% of that base pay for the rest of your life after 20 years. 20 years, you figure you join at 18, you're 38 years old with the retirement pension coming in every single month. Then if you have any kind of disability, more money, and that one is tax-free. That's a 20-year retirement. 38 years old is nothing. You start an entire new career. Do that for 20 years. 2 retirements. It makes sense. 38 years old is very young. Hard to think about that when you're 17 and 18 or even younger. 38 sounds like ancient. It's not. Jared, where you at? What's the benefits of going beyond 20? Every 2 years or every year after 20, they add 1.5% to your retirement. So every 2 years, every 2 years, there's a pay increase for your retirement. So now you're at 20, you retire at 22 years, 50% is 20, 1.5% gets added to that 50%. So now you're at 51.5, right? Math for Marines. And it just increases every 2 years. So you stay for 24, increases another 1.5%, 26, another 1.5%, all the way up to 30, where you get 75%. So that's the benefits of retiring at 20 or anywhere in between 20 and 30, but your last pay raise is at 26, right? Math 26 years. All right, so that's the benefits. Start your exit strategy now. Check mark that 20-year mark, see where you're going to be at, what you want to accomplish in those years, and make it happen. Make it happen. All right, I think we hit all the topics. I might have talked about leadership a little bit. What are you going to say? I'm getting a hand and arm signal again. What is the max age and how much? Again, David Bryant, 42. They're talking about increasing the age waiver, not just the age. Now you can just re-enlist at 42. You still have to request a waiver, anything over 28 years old. Over 28, you have to put in a waiver request to request that age. Man, look at that, Randall. You'd be at 39 years in a few weeks. And what's the benefits of staying until 40 years? Very few get selected to stay beyond 30. Obviously, very senior billets. Sergeant Major of FMF PAC, obviously the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, generals in those high billets where they still continue to need you. But you can. All right, last one, Doc Holiday. What holiday or tradition in the Corps always felt special, no matter where you were stationed? The Marine Corps birthday. That should be a national holiday that everyone should have off, no matter where you are in the Marine Corps. I don't want to say, I used to say you celebrate it no matter where you are. You're not going to celebrate it in combat, but you're going to recognize it sometime throughout that day. You're going to do something on the list of things that happen on the Marine Corps birthday. If you toast a canteen cup to the fallen, You're going to celebrate. You're going to say happy birthday, Marine, to another Marine, no matter where you are in training. That's why in boot camp, the 250th birthday coming up this November, they're going to do, you're going to know. Recruits are going to know, and the entire Marine Corps is going to know. It's 250 years of kicking butt and taking names. Yeah. All right. Well, it's been a great Wednesday. Appreciate you guys. Which one? Hurry. Huh? Gunny Greener says, I may have retired from the Marine Corps, but I've never stopped being a Marine. Amen. And we're definitely going to end it on that. Once a Marine, always a Marine. We bleed Marine Corps green. We'll see you Sunday. Semper Fi, my friends. Era.